So today, as you can see, we're having a look at a kit from Tamiya. This is actually a Tamiya ICM of Ukraine cooperative kit, 1/48 scale. It is a German aircraft power supply unit with Luftwaffe crew. So the kit number for this one is 89768. And as I said, this is a cooperative effort. So normally what you'll see around, well, what I've seen around in Australia anyway, is the power supply unit with its 2 crew members and a Kettenkrad. That's your Tamiya kit, which gets 3 figures, actually 4 figures, but 3 figures as far as Luftwaffe is concerned. And the kit number for that one is 32533. And what you have here in the foreground are 5 of the figures, and those 2 gentlemen back there, plus the dog, by the way, are the ICM figures. So that one is ICM's Luftwaffe ground crew personnel, 1939 to 45. Came out in 2013, and the kit number for that one is 48084. So that's the ICM kit. So this is a cooperative. So a really nice little diorama kit for anyone who wants to do a German airfield dio, because you do get quite a lot of figures that you can play with, move around, etc., etc. So let's have a look. So as you can see, they're obviously powering up a and Focke-Wulf 190, and these guys are just playing with the dog. These guys are having a chat about who gets to fly the plane. So you've got a couple of pilots here and an admin. All right, so that's a really nice little setting by itself. On the side, apologies for that, I tore it when I took the plastic off. That's your Kettenkrad, of course, with the PSU, and a couple of other accessories you get are a fuel drum, etc. And on the other side is just, as usual with Tamiya, 2 photos of the actual kit constructed with the figures in it. So this one came out in 2010, and it cost me around $20. So as I said, normally the only ones I've seen are the Tamiya PSU and Kettenkrad kit, and that retails for around $24 in Australia. So when this one came up for $20, I thought that's not a bad little bargain. So let's have a look and see what's in the box. That's your first throughout. These are the ICM figures. This one is your PSU unit, accessories, and the figures. Okay, plus some decals. We'll have a look at those shortly. And this one is the Kettenkrad. And although it says on the box, right, you get 3 figures, which are the Tamiya ones, plus the 7 ICM, you actually get 4 Tamiya figures, because one of these figures here, this is the Luftwaffe one, and this is the Wehrmacht one. All right, so you could use either one of those for a Luftwaffe airfield, by the way. So that's your Kettenkrad. Instructions for assembling the ICM figures, and multi-language instructions for the rest of it, Kettenkrad and PSU. So we'll have a look at those shortly. I'll just clear all this stuff out of the way. So let's have a look at the instructions. We'll put the figure one aside for a minute, and we'll have a look at the main units. So as with all Tamiya kits, of course, you have brief description of the subject of the kit. So you have here the power supply unit and the Kettenkrad in Japanese, English, German, and French. Usual warnings, recommended tools, and as this is a fold-out sheet, first up, you'll see there's your painting instructions. So overall, dark yellow for both the PSU and the Kettenkrad. And first up, we get into building the power supply unit. Just the chassis, putting the wheels on. You do get a piece of cable, okay? And where is it? There it is there. You do get this piece of stiff wire that is your power supply cable. So don't lose that because it is meant for this kit. And on the other side, just have the fitting the cable in the right place. It does have color callouts throughout, by the way. Always Tamiya colors, so use your preferred. And completing the power supply unit. Then we get onto the Kettenkrad, which is fairly simple, and it's almost, but not quite as complex as the older simplified Kettenkrad in 1/35 scale, but pretty close to it. Really nicely done. Easy assembly on this one. Putting the front forks on, and there she is. It's 6 steps overall, and these bits and pieces are completed. You'll probably spend more time assembling the figures than you will the actual 2 units in this kit. That's what she looks like in towing. You do get accessories as in the fuel drum, etc. And this does show you how you're supposed to set it up for powering up your Focke-Wulf. If you're going to do it for a Messerschmitt or something else, you would have to have a look at some references to make sure that you get these guys standing at the right point for the power supply unit for a Messerschmitt, which will be slightly different to a Focke-Wulf. Alright, so that's the instructions for the 2 little units. And this is the instructions for the figures. Fairly straightforward. Just shows you which parts go together and recommended painting. So these are Luftwaffe crew. So Luftwaffe blue, and of course references for your pilot figures. Fairly straightforward. And you do get a very small, let's see if I can get that in focus for you. There you go. Very small decal sheet. I'll move this one out. There we go. And these are just the markings for the power supply unit and the Kettenkrad. Alright, really nicely done. Typical Tamiya quality. Alright, so that, and don't forget, if I can pick it up, that little cable is the first part. In a second, we'll have a look at the actual sprues themselves. Right, so let's have a look at the first sprue. And this is the power supply unit. That's the main chassis. These are your 2 crewmen and a couple of fuel drums for accessories. Now let's have a look at the detail. Let's start with the crew guys first. See if I can get them into focus, and if I can get him around the right way. So there is a bit of flash around the heads, but the detail on the heads is quite nice. The uniforms, yep, fairly sharp. I do like it, but it is a fairly recent kit. You do get 3 heads and 2 bodies, okay? So you do have a choice there, although those 2 heads look almost exactly the same, so you might want to change that up. This is your power supply unit. There's a couple of accessory parts here, but really nicely done. Very sharp. Lots of detail for such a small kit. Some really fine work in the mold. That's really nicely done. So are the handles and accessories to go on the PSU. And this is a toolbox, and that is the toolbox handle. So a couple of these bits here will probably need a little bit of care taking them off, but apart from that, really impressed with that. Really nicely done. Very sharp, as usual with Tamiya. And nice detail. Alright, so that is the power supply unit. Next up, we'll have a look at this one. So this is, of course, the Kettenkrad. These are your two driver figures. So one is a Luftwaffe, one is a Wehrmacht. So I'll turn them around so you can have a look, see. So he is, I guess he's the Wehrmacht driver, but you could use him on a Luftwaffe airfield. There's nothing unusual about them having these kind of caps. Let's have a look and see. His face is on the other way. There's his face. So there is a bit of cleanup along the mold lines, but that's nothing unusual. So the seat is part of the top. These are, of course, your tracks and wheels. You do have some extra wheels that go on the outside. That is your front wheel, handlebar. This is your tow section for, you could use that for towing an aircraft around, because that's what they use this one for. And by the way, this particular Kettenkrad was included in a Messerschmitt 262 kit. I can't remember which one it was, but yes, that one is still available. So Tamiya does utilize some of its sprues in other kits. Really nice pickup if you can find a 262 kit with the Kettenkrad towing vehicle. Really nice pickup. So overall, nice detail as usual, and a very simple kit to put together. So that is the Kettenkrad. And the last row is, of course, this one. These are your ICM figures, so that's why it's a different color. We'll turn these guys around. So there's 7 figures on here, plus a dog. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's have a look, see. So these guys have separate arms and heads, some of them. Usual cleanup along the mold line, but the detail is quite sharp. You'll be able to see better in the close-ups I give you, but it is really nicely done. That's a walking stick, by the way. Really nicely done, and I do like the faces on these. So even if you weren't going to do a diorama, grabbing one of these is not a bad idea, because having an aircraft sit on the shelf without any context about its size, and you can use these guys for almost any Luftwaffe aircraft, will definitely give you a little bit more depth to your shelf display. And that is the dog. It comes in 2 halves, so you don't get 2 dogs, okay? But yeah, and as you can see, this guy here is sitting down. He's actually, looks like he's feeding the dog. All right, so, or he might be having a lunch and the dog's just trying to steal something. And that And that's it, guys. That is all there is to it. 3 sprues and some decals. And that is Tamiya / ICM's German Aircraft Power Supply Unit with Luftwaffe crew, kit number 89768. Came out in 2010, cost me around $20. It's actually the first time I've actually seen this combination. Like I said, most of the time I just see the Tamiya Power Supply Unit Kettenkraftrad kit, which is around $24 Australian. Alright, so brings us to the end of this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes, your comments and subscriptions. They are always appreciated. And as usual, guys, until next time, take it easy, stay safe, and I will see you later.